Hello and welcome to DDOCast episode 384, recorded on the weekend of May 30th and 31st. I'm your host, Patrick. With me, no one this week for the main stuff, or the newsy bits, but we will have several guests for this edition of Guild Feud, which we'll get to in a moment. This week's screenshot set gets lost in the Dreaming Dark in the 224th screenshot of the week. We like to talk about Dungeons & Dragons online nearly every weekend. You can catch us through Twitch, YouTube, the DDO forums, or from our website at DDOCast.com. DDOCast is hosted by Cyber the awesome podcast hosting network, and shows are usually available within a few days of recording. The next show will probably be on Sunday, June 7th. You can stay updated by following us on our social media pages or our website, DDOCast.com. On the podcast this week, Lemania hit. We will have some more Warlock news, and as I mentioned before, we have another episode of Guild Feud. So to start, we'll do the news and all that fun stuff, and we'll end with Guild Feud for those that want to listen to that. So to start with the game news, Update 26 hit Lemania for the first time. Here's a quick rundown and summary of some of the more notable release notes. Barbarian enhancement abilities now break stealth that previously did not, such as Supreme Cleave, which is kind of a funny little note there. Wish someone would have told me about that one earlier. The DDO store. This is kind of fun stuff. So the bag deposit box has been renamed to the Shared Bank Crafting Storage. And it is now possible to craft remotely from that supply at Eldritch devices and bartered UI NPCs. They will automatically search crafting storage for recipe ingredients. It will still accept the same items from bags that accepted when it was called the bag deposit box, even items that are not necessarily crafting ingredients. But that's pretty slick. It sounds like we will be able to show up to the crafting altar and just immediately access the whole stuff that's in that UI in that shared bank. So that's pretty slick. Of course, Warlock is out, with the exception of one of the enhancement trees is not out yet. The Soul Eater enhancement's not available for preview yet. Several monsters were added to the monster manual. Amrath is now free-to-play. Players can now enter the Amrath public area in Shavrath. They were not able to do that previously. This is presumably in preparation for Update 27, which will be going back there. The Temple of Elemental Evil, the chance to get a rare encounters in the Temple of Elemental Evil Part 1 has been increased. The XP of almost all optional objectives has been increased. In most cases, the XP has been doubled. Yeehaw. Non-mythic versions of named items now drop. Apparently they were hard to find. Like their mythic counterparts, they are found in both end chests and random encounters, but are more often found in random encounter chests. The drop rate of mythic named items appearing in random encounter chests has been increased, and wands of wonder now drop less frequently. And the effects granted by the altars were removed when leaving the quest. That's probably for the better. That was kind of the rundown of the release notes. Obviously, I skipped most of the Warlock stuff since we've been in and out of that throughout the last couple shows. But some more Warlock news. Unholy Blast will probably became evil damage. They've been concerned about the re-education that comes with that, but a sufficiently good tooltip should help there. They don't believe penetrating blast will be 100% must-have for all Warlocks 100% of the time. They've seen a small contingent of players say this repeatedly, but we simply disagree and haven't seen any really argument for why it would be required. At least 90% of DDO doesn't require piercing damage, and it may be closer to 99% of quests. The current understanding is that magical damage of physical damage types ignores DR, but is reduced by PRR and not MRR. There are some things they will continue to investigate. However, like they would not want it to be reduced by both PRR and MRR. Eldritch Blast is not a magic missile. Someone was asking about that. They will probably look at options for adding spell penetration to the trees. Let's see. There was a concern about how depravity was going to be displayed. It isn't a buff, it's a resource like Weapon Bond in Occult Slayer, and it shows up as soon as you put Tainted Spellcasting onto your hotbar, which is part of why it's an activated ability. That's not an accident. There was also some concerns about differing damage types. Particularly, there's one that is heal. Someone brought up one that was healed by force. The response to that was, yes, it's not alarming. There should be monsters that some characters fear or having more problems with than other characters or other monsters. Being able to ground this with a Tier 2 enhancement other more creative solutions is more or less acceptable. And then Vergil gave kind of an explanation of damage types, particularly alignment damage types, because they're making the change to evil damage. So basically, like all damage, alignment damage, good, evil, lawful, and chaotic, doesn't have any immunity built into the damage type itself. Many existing DDO effects that deal alignment damage do care about the alignment, and they should all say so. So weapon abilities like Righteous, True Law, Pure Good, Anarchic, the alignment weapon types. Spells like Chaos Hammer and Unholy Blight, those all do alignment damage, but they only do it if that whatever they're attacking or hitting is of a certain alignment. But there is no inherent resistance to the damage type, so that it's not the same thing. So in changing the damage of an Eldritch Blast to evil damage or unholy damage, they're not getting a resistance to that. It just becomes evil type. And it doesn't have the conditional modifier of if they are not evil, then do damage. It's the damage is evil damage for purposes of any kind of damage reduction and stuff like that. There may be some monsters with immunity to particular kinds of damage, but for alignment damage, they're fairly certain it is not widespread. There are large categories of creature types that sometimes do have interactions with specific damage types. Examples, Undead Heal from negative energy, which is inherent to Undead. Rust and Repair damage generally doesn't affect most creatures unless they are constructs. There may be existing specific monsters who are immune to evil or chaos damage, but that's not a general rule. So let's see. They did some digging. He did some digging. 99% of monsters have normal vulnerability to each of the 4 alignment damages, compared to poison, where 20%, or around 20%, have some kind of immunity to poison, or rust and repair, where 94% of monsters ignore it. Apparently, about 6% of monsters are constructs in DDO. There's always a few weird monsters. Some monsters repair rust at large multipliers, taking 3 times the normal amounts or other amounts, or monsters that take double damage or more sonic damage, etc. Those are probably mostly named bosses of some kind, but he's not going to spend extra time looking into it, even though it's kind of interesting. There's also a note about Holy Sword and Improved Critical. Someone was asking about how those are working as intended, if they're going to be changed. Several said that Holy Sword will be changed at some point. There were no details on that. There was no timing. Just it will be changed at some point. Improved Critical will not be changing in the near future, at least not without an outcry from the player base. Although it varies from the pen and paper and probably wasn't intended to work that way, it's been in place since the earliest days of the game with its current functionality, so we are loath to change it at this point. Bonus days. Through the weekend, you get double daily dice XP. Store sales through Thursday, June 4th. You can get 20% off of Astral Shards, Guild Renown Elixirs, Guild Charters, and Guild Airship. You can get 50% off of Guild Charters and Guild Airship Beacons. The freebie of the week is a small Jewel of Fortune with the code LOOT29. Community news: the 144th Chronicle. Macadope brings a gun to a knife fight with a new character build. You can check that one out on the forums. There's also a most currently updated player-created character planner, the Character Builder Lite. Got a shout out here. Makar DDO's 10-week challenge continued against the Demon Queen. It indeed seems like it's going to be quite the challenge. Not a lot of people have posted that. I'm hoping to get some time in to do that, to finish doing it anyways. It's been, it's a busy week for me, so even if I do attempt it, the raid anyways, I don't expect to have problems with DQ1, but there's a bonus points for the raid, which is going to be hard-pressed to do. It's a hard raid to do alone, let alone under level, and I don't have a lot of time to make many adjustments, so we'll see how that goes. As always, those will be available on our YouTube page and our DDOcast.com as soon as I finish putting them together and all that stuff. The High Lords of Malkier are hosting an Abbot raid on Saturday, which will probably be long gone after this goes out. 2.5 Men are a Sarlona-based guild looking for people to join them. The guild is founded by a human, an elf, and a halfling, hence the name. The comment for the week: if your boots were sentient, what would they want to tell you? They would probably say something along the lines that I should or about me walking in their shoes, or some such pun. DDO Players News wants to know what we liked best from the new producer's letter in a survey. Tales of DDO episode 16 is available on YouTube. The Dirty Kobold looked at true reincarnation. We got a shout out for our crossbow builds, and the Longshot has advice for new DDO players in a blog post. Some other videos this week. The Shady Rogues completed the Friar's Niece and more in their 29th episode. And Ginger Spice soloed Don't Drink the Water on Epic Elite. Nicely done, sir. Some bloggy stuff this week. DDO Gamer responded to the producer's letter and gave it a review. That he also had a Cookies for Fighters post. Someone asked him about cookies for a fighter and what they might want to find. So he had some good ideas there. DDO Players News had their 34th episode. Dirty Kobold had their 5th episode, which we mentioned. Let's see. There was also several got on the forums and was asking for cosmetic feedback. They're looking at what things they would like to see tweaked for new items, what kind of things they like, or what they would people would like to see for cosmetics. So if you have an opinion, go ahead and chime in there. And MMORPG had a nice little article. It was 4 reasons to give DDO a try, which was kind of a fun little read. And if you have some folks that are thinking about it, maybe you could send it to them. They might find that to be enjoyable. Lightning post this week. Bell from Kyber chimed in regarding our crossbow builds and said that Maximize does not, in fact, affect your heal spell. The marks that failed legend are using in his build concept function in practice exactly like the spell. Empowered healing is the only way to boost heal through mana feats. Maximize does, however, positively affect the artificer spells you utilize on the build. From personal experience, halfling marks are fine supplements for even primary for your healing needs through heroics. They do, however, fall short in epics, although Cocoon does give a nice little boost there and kind of fill that in. He's glad that we brought up the Harper tree. There's plenty of goodness built in that tree. 6 points of search and spot as are valuable in Epic Elite content, and the passive melee range power are nice. Know the angles should also not be overlooked. His crossbow build is a 17 Artificer, 2 Rogue, 1 Wizard. The Rogue gives the obvious benefits of evasion and mechanic tier 1s, though the mechanic tree can be safely ignored in favor of the Harper tree. The Wizard gives so much more than Shield, Night Shield on demand. It gives meta and spell points. First Life Tunes often lack for spell points. That single level Wizard is a valuable level. Mithril Body is imperative as Insightful Reflexes, which I don't think we mentioned. I don't know that either of us were really going heavily into an intelligence-based build. I know mine was kind of evenly split, so there wasn't a lot of difference in practice between the intelligence and dexterity. They were kind of more or less the same, so I didn't tend to take a lot of stuff that lets you flip one of those for the other. They're pretty much right on par for me. He also uses the Dozen from the Missing Chain, crafted with plus 10 to Reflex, and he likes some Shroud, particularly the Mineral 2 or Lightning 2, and then the Slayer's Crossbow and the Needle at level 23, some good crossbow options. Let's see. He also likes the Glass Cannon from the Cove event, which is a pretty good rune arm as well. Day News also chimed in on the crossbow builds and also said that Empower Healing was the correct choice. His crossbow build, he went with an 18 Rogue, 2 Arty, Morning Lord. He lesser reincarnated out the cleric level. It's primarily int-based with just enough dex for improved precise shot and combat archery and epics. A +5 dex stone was a big help. The build primarily uses great crossbows. He loves the extra +2 multiplier from the 18th core level, though he does have epic double crossbow slotted with Endless Night augment for debuffing, but he rarely uses it. The great crossbow hits like a truck, and the Assassin's Trick to remove some fort and sneak attack immunity is great. He picked up Shadow Dagger 2 since blinding stuff is always handy, and Intelligence to hit, plus Know the Angles from Harper, plus the Uber Heal and Mass Death Word from the Racial Treat. He is running in Fury Destiny at the moment, grinding out a couple ETRs to get more double shot, and he prefers it to Shroudi just because it means you can use the adrenaline to one-shot many annoying mobs, even wipe out most bosses in short order. The main weakness he mentions is it's squishy and close combat, as crossbow builds generally are, so keep stuff at a safe distance. He also had an 18 RD2 cleric, shooty cleric, that he played with a little bit, but There you go. And then finally, someone wrote in about the 222nd screenshot, which was the kobold with crystals in Spies in the House. The kobold was his guildie bar nun who had been turned into a kobold in the Sharati Destiny. Is the ability with the queen, which I was correct as it does. However, it apparently did not spawn a kobold. It turned him into a kobold. His diplomacy was very poor. So with that, I'm going to close out the show here. Hit us up at DDOCast.com for show notes, our calendar, previous shows, swag, and other fun stuff. If you'd like to be part of the show or just say hi, you can email us at DDOCast@gmail.com. You can also find us on social media and follow us for latest cast updates. Thanks for listening to the show. Thanks for all the contributors from DDOcast. I really appreciate them, particularly the ones who participated in the Guild Feud here. Thanks to Turbine Wizards and Cyber Ears for making the game and hosting the podcast, respectively. So until next time, may all your attack rolls be crits, all your chests level appropriate, have fun, and don't forget to stay tuned for Guild Feud number 2. So welcome to DDOcast Guild Feud 2. We're going to introduce the two guilds, and then we'll get rolling here. First up, we have the High Lords of Malkier. Voodoo, why don't you introduce your guild? Tell us a little about yourself as well.
Woohoo! I am Ginger Spice, and I am the co-leader / acting leader at times of the High Lords of Malkier on Sarlona. And I also have my YouTube channel, which is a DDO fan site. And I think I'll just leave it there.
Do you want to introduce your team?
Oh, hell yeah. I thought they were going to be introducing themselves. So, we have Alexis Morgan, who is an officer extraordinaire in High Lords. He's an old dog here. And then Glam, one of my mentors from way back in the day, who used to lead some legendary morning raids on Sarlona, also an officer in the guild. And Vanna White, who is another officer here in High Lords, who is also an old dog around here and our resident Titan expert. And then Gijo, aka G.I. Joe, who is our newest member of High Lords. We're very happy to have on board and joining us for Guild Feud 2.
Thanks, guys. Welcome. You guys can say hi, too, while he's introducing you, just so you know. I guess now that you're done introducing. So everybody say hi at the same time. Go.
Hi at the same time. Go.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Also joining us, we have A Tribe Called Zerg, led by Bonnie Bew. So Bonnie Bew, why don't you introduce your guild and your team?
Hi, I'm Bonnie Bew, sometimes known as Zoetia, sometimes known as That Crazy Person. I am, for want of a better term, leader of A Tribe Called Zerg on Cannith. And I also co-host a show with the lovely lady to my right, Lucy Pants. And after her, there is Zab, who is kind of like a boss unicorn, slutty princess of the group. And to his right is Scuzz City, who we kind of lured off the street into our candy van.
Excellent. So thanks for joining us. So just to give everyone kind of an idea of how this works, I will ask a question. Well, first, one person from each team will roll for initiative, and then I will ask a question, and that question will be then answered first by the person who had the best initiative, and then we'll go in alternating order, so that we do kind of give everyone more participation. That's kind of the goal here. So to start, we will have Voodoo and Bonnie Bew roll for initiative. And Ginger Spice comes in with a solid 20.
Wow.
20.
Representing.
Very
Oh,
well done,
yeah.
sir.
I don't
20.
need to roll because I know that I'm not going to win any roll that happens ever.
Well, in fairness, my general rule with rolling for initiative is that if you can prove to me that you are more dexterous than the average person, I will give you a bonus. But that'll be a little hard today. So, Voodoo, you get to lead off with the first question. I should mention, too, each team will get 3 strikes per round. As long as you get an answer that was answered, you will stay alive and get a point at least. So there's a little bit of forgiveness here. So Voodoo, the first question: name a non-raid quest you are likely to die in.
A non-raid quest that you are likely to die in. Prove your worth.
Prove your worth is a good choice. There were 7 people that said prove your worth. So Bonnie, it's your turn. Name a quest, a non-raid quest that you are most likely to die in.
One of my favorites is In the Flesh.
And that one is worth 4 points. 4 people said that. So then we go to Alexis. Name a quest that you are most likely to die in.
Proof is in the poison.
Another 3 points. We had 3 people say that one. This one, by the way, has a fairly high spread. So let's see. Next is going to be Moosey from A Tribe Called Zerg. Where do you die in quests?
Chains of Flame.
I am sorry. Nobody said Chains of Flame. That is strike 1 for Zerg.
What?
Nobody said Chains of Flame. If you can believe it.
The Flame. Silly. The Archer.
Glam, it's your turn, sir.
Alrighty, how about Epic Ghosts of Perdition?
You do not need to specify difficulty for any quests for future reference. However, Ghost of Perdition was
okay.
7 people. 7 points for you.
Nice.
And Zav, it's your turn, sir.
The Pit.
The Pit. One of my favorite quests. 2 people said the Pit. And that means we are at Vanna.
I'm going to have to go with Invaders.
1 person said Invaders. So,
It keeps us alive.
yep, Skunk City.
I'm going to have to go with Don't Drink the Water.
Don't drink the water. I am sorry. That is a second strike for A Tribe Called Zerg. Guys are on thin ice here. And then we go to G.I. Joe.
The Crucible.
3 people said the Crucible. And for those listening at home, since there's no video on this, everyone seems to be saying good answer in the chat after each answer here. Very nice Family Feud fashion. Bonnie Bew, it's your turn again. You have 2 strikes for your team. What's a quest you are likely to die in?
Precious Cargo.
I am sorry, that's strike 3, if you can believe it.
These people are crazy. But we're answering as they are trying to die hard enough. We have to answer as the other people.
Voodoo, we are back to you. You guys have an opportunity to run the table here a little bit.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm going to go with Irestone Inlet.
1 person did say Irestone Inlet.
Hell yeah.
And I must...
Noobs representing.
I have to make a correction. The Pit was actually worth 7 points, not 2, which I think I said earlier. So let's see. That means Alexis, it's your turn, sir.
Running with the Devils.
Let's see. Running with the Devils is on my list for 3 points. Well done. Glam.
How about A New Invasion?
New invasion is worth 2 points. I'm a little disappointed by that. I feel like it should have been more.
Me too.
Yeah.
Vanna, it's your turn.
You know, it doesn't get much tougher than what goes up.
What goes up was worth 4 points.
Good answer, good answer.
And G.I. Joe. High Lord is running the table here. Still no strikes.
Inferno of the Damned.
And that is your first strike. Inferno of the Damned is not on the list. Voodoo, it's your turn.
Rainbow in the Dark.
And that is strike 2.
Oh, come on.
No one dies in
Good
Rainbow.
answer, good answer.
No, the pit where nobody can make that jump. Come on now.
It's a good one.
They still die.
Alexis, it's your turn.
Bond 3.
Vaughn 3. One person, 2 people did say Vaughn 3.
Woohoo!
Glam, your turn.
All right, I'm going to go with the weapon shipment.
And that is strike 3 and the end of the round. There were many others that were said. Spies in the House was in there. Enter the Kobold. No one had Enter the Kobold. Haunted Halls only had 2.
Oh.
I was expecting Haunted Halls to have more, personally. However, the top answer was a 3-way tie between Ghosts of Perdition, Prove Your Worth, and The Pit at 7 apiece. So good round. So we're going to move on to round 2, which means Alexis and Moosey are going to roll for initiative.
Big numbers, Moosey.
Alexis with a
Coming in
16
strong.
and Moose with a 7. High Lords are... Might have to check your guys' dice somewhere in here.
No, I just have no luck. DDO
Right.
hates us.
Please listen carefully to the wording on this one. And remember that this is a survey answered by 100 players. The question was, what is the most useful feat? Alexis, what is the most useful feat?
The 2 you walk with.
What?
Very Syax of you.
That was great.
Wait, what was
I
the
didn't
answer?
hear it.
He's
a little
joke.
I said the 2 you walk with.
Oh man, I said that too, but in a different channel.
But, oh God. That is so class dependent. Die Hard.
Die Hard is worth no points. That is a strike. Moosey, what is the most useful feat?
Maximize.
Maximize is worth 3 points.
Whoa, I thought that would be way up there.
This was a fun one. Glam, it's your turn. What is the most useful feat?
I'm going to go with Stunning Blow.
Stunning Blow is worth 1 point. Zav, what is the most useful feat?
Overwhelming critical.
Overwhelming Critical is worth a whopping 1 point. And then we go, let's see, we're back to Vanna.
Alrighty, I'm going to go with Quicken.
Nice.
Quicken, good choice. That one's worth 6 points. And Skunk City.
I don't agree with this, but I think people are going to say toughness.
Toughness is the number 1 answer for 21 points.
Wow.
Damn.
Oh, man.
I was surprised by that, actually. The G.I. Joe, your turn.
Power Attack.
Power Attack is worth 5 points. Well done, sir. And we're back to Bonnie.
I'm going to say Cleave.
Cleave is worth 3 points. And I think that Let's see, make sure I'm on the right spot. We're on Voodoo, I believe, right?
Yeah, Bonnie took my answer. I was going to go with Snake Blood, but I'm not going to. I'm going to take a chance on this one. And I'm going to say Completionist.
3 people did say Completionist.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Moosey.
Empower.
Empower? Empower is not on the list.
Empower.
Yeah, Empower is not on the list. That's the first strike for the Tribe Called Zerg. With 1 strike on the High Lords, Alexis, it's your turn again.
Let's see if people thought about it. I don't know, just say your regular attack, because it's a feat.
A good thought. However, that is strike 2. Zav, your turn.
Improved critical.
Improved critical is worth 10 points and is the number 2 answer.
Woo, good job, Zav.
Glam, your turn.
I'm going to go with Great Cleave.
Great Cleave is worth 2 points.
Staying alive.
And let's see, we are to Skunk City.
My personal favorite, Precision.
A good,
Woohoo, good answer,
a good one.
answer.
4 people did say Precision. We're back to High Lords, and we are on Vanna, I believe.
2-weapon fighting.
2-weapon fighting is not on the list. That is strike 3 for the High Lords, which means we go.
Wow.
We're on Skunk City or Sav.
I think it's Bonnie's turn.
Bonnie's turn. We'll go with Bonnie.
Is it my turn?
Bonnie's turn.
I'm going to say Mini Shot.
Many Shot had 1 answer. Let's see. High Lords have struck out, so we go to Moosey. A chance here for the Tribe Called Zerg to catch up a little bit.
Improved Precise Shot.
There was 1 person who did say improved precise shot. Zav.
We love the 1%.
Precise shot.
Precise shot is not an answer. That is strike 1. Or strike 2, sorry. Skunk City.
Insightful reflexes.
Ooh.
Insightful Reflexes is not on the list. I'm sorry. That is strike 3. The biggest one that nobody
Oh,
got,
man.
Attack was actually a good answer because there were a couple that people put in that were not actually ones you would think of, like Evasion, which was the number 3 answer at 7.
I was thinking about answering that.
Oh.
Yeah. There's also martial weapon proficiency, heavy armor proficiency was in there as well, as was trap finding. So after 2 rounds, the score is High Lords at 55, and the Tribe Called Zerg at 50. So pretty close game here.
So close.
Closer than what you thought.
Yeah, the Tribe Called Zerg came roaring back with toughness and improved critical. So we go on to the 3rd round. So Glam and Zav, roll for initiative, please.
Hell yeah.
Got this. Oh
Very
my
nice.
God, our dice are broken.
The High Lords continue to dominate with a 19 over a 3. So here we go. Please, again, listen carefully. I'm going to rescind something that I mentioned earlier. For this one, there are no iconic breakouts for this when we're talking about race. But the question is, what class and race combination should a brand new player choose for their first character? Glam.
I would say Human Fighter.
Human Fighter is worth 20 points. Zav, it is your turn.
Human barbarian.
Human Barbarian is worth 3. Vanna, what class and race combination should a new player choose?
I don't know if they should choose it, but it seems like a lot of them go with Elf Ranger.
Elf Ranger is worth 3 points. Let's see, that means we go to Skunk City.
Human Rogue.
Human Rogue did not make the list. That is strike 1 for a tribe called Zerg. G.I. Joe. What race and class should a new player choose?
Dwarf Cleric.
Dwarf Cleric is worth 2
Good answer.
points. And we go to Bonnie.
I'm going to say Warforged Sorcerer.
Warforged Sorcerer is worth 1 point. And just to make it clear here, race and class can overlap as long as it's not the same combination, just so everyone's aware of that. We've got an equal number of times. Which means we are, let's see, I believe back to Voodoo.
Warforged Wizard.
Warforged Wizard is not on the list. That's strike 1 for the High Lords.
Oh, come on now.
Moosey.
Drow Wizard.
2 people said Drow Wizard.
Oh, come Drow Wizard, but not Warforged Wizard. Really?
They get a
Okay.
+2
I
intelligence.
feel like
Yeah,
I don't know these 100 people.
I'm a Drow Wizard.
But you got to unlock it now.
That's one of them.
Alexis, what race and class combination should a new player choose?
Human Paladin.
Human Paladin was the #1 answer for 22.
Good answer.
Woo!
All right. Zav, it's your turn.
Dwarf Barbarian.
Dwarf Barbarian is worth 4 points. Glam.
I'm going to go with Human Cleric.
Human Cleric was worth 3 points. Doing pretty good here, guys. Nicely done. We go to Skunk City.
Half-Elf Ranger.
Half-Elf Ranger did not make the list. That's strike 2 for a tribe called Zerg. Let's see. We are on Vanna for the High Lords. 1 strike.
I'm going to have to go with Human Bard.
Human Bard is worth 3 points. Bonnie, we're
Nice.
back to you.
Half-Orc Barbarian?
Half-Orc Barbarian is worth 4 points. Staying
Holy
alive.
cow.
Let's see, where are we at? G.I. Joe, I believe?
Halfling Rogue.
Halfling Rogue is worth 3 points. Well done, sir.
Woot!
And Moosey.
Warforged Artificer?
That one's worth 3 points.
Oh my god!
Right, and let's see. On Voodoo.
This is the second time that somebody has taken my answer right before it was my turn. Thanks a lot.
Awesome.
And I didn't have a backup answer. I think this is a good choice. I don't think it's going to be there, though. I'm going to say Human Druid.
There is no human druid on the list. That is the second strike for the High Lords. Let's see. Tribe Called Zerg. We are... Oh, help me out. Zav?
Jav.
Human Favorite Soul.
Human Favorite Soul is not on the list. That is strike 3 for Tribe Called Zerg.
Ah!
Alexis, High Lords have 2 strikes. Can you keep going?
Let's try Elf Rogue.
Elf Rogue is worth 1 point.
Woohoo!
Glam, back to you.
That was a very close answer. I'm going to go with Drow Rogue.
Drow Rogue is not on the list. That is strike 3.
Yay!
Interestingly enough, Favored Soul, Druid, Monk, none were all not on the list at all.
Wait a minute. Aren't they still
Was
alive?
Elf Wizard on there?
No, everyone got 3 strikes.
Oh, okay.
Was what?
Was Elf Wizard on there?
No, but Elf Paladin and Dwarven Sorcerer was on this list.
What?
Elf
Dwarven
Paladin?
Oh my god, somebody's been drinking too many dirty kobolds.
I just asked
Did
the
you survey
questions.
people who actually play the game?
I did. I did indeed.
Oh man.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm just messing around. Yeah.
All right, we are up to round 4, which means that all points for this round will be doubled. The High Lords currently have a fairly commanding lead of 112 to Tribe Called Zerg at 67. So we need Vanna and Skunk City to roll for initiative. And finally,
Can't
a
win 'em all.
tribe called Zerg pulls out the heavy dice. And Skunk City rolls a
Woohoo, you
19.
can tell he's not
to a 6.
actually literally in our guild. Because he can roll dice.
This is true.
All right, Skunk.
That's the power.
Here is your question. Name a quest or a raid in which a trapper is very helpful.
Rackham's Trial.
Let's see, Rackham's Trial or Prove Your Worth is 3. Let's see, Vanna.
I'm going to go with Vision of Destruction.
Vision of Destruction is worth 2.
Nice.
Bonnie, it's your turn.
My turn?
Yep.
I'm going to say Shadow Knight.
Tomb of the Shadow Knight is worth 12 points. Well done.
Woo!
You stole my answer.
Good answer, good answer.
It's the number 3 answer. Let's see, G.I. Joe.
The Vault of Night.
Can you be more specific, please?
Vaughn Part 5.
Vaughn 5 is the number 2 answer for 13 points.
Woohoo!
The Moosey.
Tomb of the Tormented.
Tomb of the Tormented is not on the list. That is strike 1 for the Tribe Called Zerg. Voodoo.
I think this is a little bit risky, but it's got some spell wards in the end fight, so I'm going to go with Caught in the Web.
Caught in the Web is worth 1 point.
Staying alive.
Zav. What is a quest or raid in which a trapper is very handy?
Temple of the Deathworm.
Temple of the Deathworm is worth 2 points. And Alexis.
Okay, let's see here. Let's try Haunted Halls.
Haunted Halls is the number 1 answer for 16 points.
Hell yeah! Good job, Syax.
Skunk City.
The Lost Thread.
Ooh, good answer, good answer.
The Lost Thread is not on the list. That's strike 2. Glam, where are you going to take a trapper?
I would be taking a trapper through Spies in the House.
Spies in the House is worth 1 point. And keep in mind that these points are being doubled. Let's see, Bonnie.
I'm going to say the Bookbinder Rescue.
Bookbinder Rescue is worth 1 point. You are Tribe Called Zerg is still alive. Let's see, are we on Vanna? Is that correct?
Yeah. Maze of Madness.
Maze of Madness is not on the list. That is a first strike.
Come on.
It's a good choice though.
Funk ass list.
Moosey.
Vaughn 3.
Vaughn 3 is on the list with 1 point.
It has 1 trap.
Well, it can have more than 1 trap. G.I. Joe.
Proof is in the Poison.
Proof is in the Poison is on the list for 2 points. And we go to Zav.
Repossession.
Repossession for 2 points. I lost my place. Are we on Voodoo?
Yeah, unfortunately. I need to make sure that I have a backup answer ready to go. People keep taking my answers right before it's my turn. Okay. I'm gonna go with recovering a lost tome.
That is strike 2 for the High Lords.
I know it was a lame answer.
Skunk, what's the quest you want to trap her in?
On 4.
Haywire's Foundry is on the list for 3 points.
Woohoo!
Alexis.
Cheer of the Con.
Tear of Decon is not on the list. The High Lords have struck out.
Oh, that's garbage. That was a great answer, Sax.
That was a great answer. It's just not on the list. Bonnie, Tribe of Zerg has 2 strikes, but has a chance to run the table a little bit.
We're going to say Gwynlyn Stand.
Gwynlyn Stan is worth 3 points. Moosey.
Monastery.
Monastery of the Scorpion is worth 5 points.
Woo!
Zav.
Vaughn 2.
Vaughn 2 is not on the list. That means you guys have struck out as well. And I think you guys got most of the big answers. The biggest one left was Made to Order with 3 points. But everything else was 2 and 1. So good job. Doing a good job.
I said Made to Order once.
It's people don't run it very often. So after 4 rounds, High Lords are in the lead with 172 points to the Tribe Called Zerg's 133. But it's round 3, which means we're going to triple the points. So Bonnie and G.I. Joe are going to roll for initiative. Bonnie wins amazingly.
By the sovereign host.
15-9. All right, Bonnie. We asked 100 players this question. How did you find DDO?
A friend.
Friends is the number 1 answer for 32 points.
Woo!
Of course it is. Nice work.
G.I. Joe, how
Thank
did
you,
you find
Edify.
DDO?
Game review site, IGN.com.
Game Reviews was worth 2 points. Moosey, how did you find DDO?
Relative?
Family is worth 8 points. Voodoo, how might a player have found DDO?
Is an advertisement too generic?
Nope, I lumped all of those in together, and that was worth 10 points. Zav, how might a player have found DDO?
Another Turbine game.
Another MMO, I lumped them all together. It was worth 4 points. Alexis, how might a player have found DDO?
Google search.
This was a little bit of a stretch for me, but I lumped all of searching into the internet in general because most of the answers were some conglomeration of that. So the internet is worth 21 points.
Oh, hell yeah.
A lot of the answers I got for that one were, I went searching for this, that, or the other thing on the internet. Some used Google by name, some didn't. So I put it all together. Skunk City, I believe it is your turn, sir.
Let's go with coworker.
Woot!
Coworker is not on the list. That is strike 1. We go to Glam.
Believe it or not, I remember when DDO first came out, and it was actually in the stores. It was a box set. So I'm going to go with stores.
Interestingly enough, nobody said stores.
Really?
Yeah, although it is a good answer because I do remember seeing it in the stores. Let's see, Bonnie, it's back to you. One strike apiece.
I'm going to say they were a Dungeons & Dragons fan.
I'm going to have you pick again because I actually rolled the one answer for that into other MMOs games. So that other MMOs or games was all kind of one lumped answer.
I'm going to say, does social media count as the internet? Yeah, it probably does.
No, it doesn't. Social media
cool.
is worth 2 points. Let's see. We are to Vanna.
Well, I got to say, those are pretty much all the things I've already thought of. How many answers are left on the board?
Oh, I don't know. Should I give you guys that kind of information?
Well, they do in Family Feud.
Public information.
There are 6 answers on the board.
There are less. Wow.
I'm going to go kind of outside the box here. I'm going to say that you found it by mistake.
Accident is worth 3 points.
Hell yeah. Go Vanna.
Ooh.
Let's see. Back to Bonnie? Or are we on Moosey?
It's my turn. I think it's Moose. I don't know if this has already been said, but I'm going to say significant other.
That was in family.
Yeah, I figured as much.
It's going to get tough here. One strike apiece.
You work for Turbine.
That is not an answer. Strike 2 for Tribe Called Zerg.
Oh, crap. Jerry didn't fill in the poll.
I think he found it before he started working for them.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where are we at? I apologize, High Lords. Whose turn is it?
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe? Okay.
How about through Steam?
Steam is not an answer. Strike 2. That means we're on Zav. Zav, did you fall asleep there? Or are you thinking hard?
It's tough. This is really tough now.
Because there's like 5 more answers, right?
Yep. Conventions is worth 1 point.
Nice. Very nice.
All right, Voodoo. 2 strikes. Ball's in your court. Good luck.
Yeah, I'm about to drop the ball here. We already said another Dungeons & Dragons game. Or we already said, yeah.
Yes.
So. Can I say magazine, or is that...
You can say magazine.
Something else.
It's worth 4 points.
Hell yeah.
Well done. All right. I believe we're back to Skunk. 3 answers left.
I'm going to defer to my less enjoyable pub groups and go with high school.
A good shot, but no, that is not an answer. That's strike 3.
Oh, nice try.
All right, Alexis, you got one for me?
TV.
TV is not an answer. Strike 3. The one that you guys didn't get that was worth the most left was Beta, with Beta launch, for 6 points.
Oh, man. Was Will Wheaton on there?
No. YouTube and...
Was Dark Hat on there?
YouTube and the military were the other 2.
Military. That was Dark Hat. Okay.
So, we're going to go into the speed round. The High Lords are leading with 292 points. The Tribe Called Zerg is in second with 280 points. So,
Oh, my gosh.
it's quite close. What we're going to do now is we're going to do a speed round. So I need each team to pick 2 players, one to go first and one to go second.
Guys, Sax has been hitting some ringers.
Moosey and I are going to go. Moosey
I definitely want to go.
I'll go first. Moosey will go second.
Dana, did you say you want to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got...
Guys, if you're willing to do it, I'm willing to say Alexis and Vanna.
I'm cool with that.
Okay, so who's going first for High Lords?
Alexis can go first.
Alexis is going first. Vanna is going second. And it was Bonnie going first, is that correct?
Yes.
And Moosey. Okay, so the way this is going to work, I'm going to ask all four of you. We're going to kick people out of the group. No sharing in other chat channels. It's all on them. We're going to have one person at a time. They're going to answer the same 5 questions. You can own each team. So the person who's going second, if you say the same answer that the first person said, then we're going to ask you to try again. You have to pick a different answer than your teammate. Does that all make nice, good sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Okay.
it's not actually timed?
It's not going to be overly timed, but I'm not going to let you take a lot of time to think about it either, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm not going to run a stopwatch, but we're not going to be here all day. All right. So, the High Lords are in the lead. You guys get to choose if you will go first or second.
Let's go first.
Okay. All right. Alexis, are you ready, sir?
Sure.
And just to reiterate, Temple of Elemental Evil is not a choice. This was done mostly before that, so that is not an answer. Also, any races in here, iconics are separate from normal races. Okay?
Hey.
Here we go. Name a quest or a raid with a puzzle.
Bonbon.
Cosmetically, what race is the most fun to customize?
Sun Elf.
What level is the hardest to get enough XP to advance through?
11 to 12.
What is the best raid boss?
The Death Worm.
What is the best class for tanking?
For tanking, Paladin.
All right, here are your scores. Name a quest or raid with a puzzle. You said Von 5. That's worth 13 points. Cosmetically, what race is the most fun to customize? You said Sun Elf. That's worth 0 points. What level is the hardest to get enough XP to advance through? You said 11. That was worth 2 points. The best raid boss you said was Arglor Rosso from Temple of Deathworm. Was worth 7 points. And the best class for tanking, you said Paladin, which was the number 1 answer for a whopping 68 points. All right, Bonnie, are you ready?
Hello. As I'll ever be.
Just to reiterate, any questions involving races, iconics are separate, and Temple of Elemental Evil is not a viable answer. I took the survey before that was out. Okay? Here we go.
Okay.
Name a quest or raid with a puzzle.
Deathworm.
Cosmetically, what race is the most fun to customize?
Dwarf.
What level is the hardest to get enough XP to advance through?
19.
What is the best raid boss?
Geritricos.
What is the best class for tanking?
Can you repeat that?
What is the best class for tanking?
Oh, Paladin.
All right. Name a quest or raid with a puzzle. You said Deathworm. That was worth 2 points. Cosmetically, what race is the most fun to customize? You said Dwarf, which was worth 10 points. What level is the hardest to get enough XP to advance through? You said 19. That was the number 1 answer for 21 points.
Woo!
The best raid boss, you said Eritricos. That was also a number 1 answer for 22 points. And
Yay! I love him.
best class for tanking was Paladin, which was the number one answer for 68 points. We're going to ask Vanna the same questions. However, Vanna, you cannot answer with the same answers that Alexis answered. Does that make sense for you? If you do, I'll just ask you to give me another answer. And for those keeping track at home, Tribe Called Zerg is now in the lead with 403 points to the High Lords 382. So, Vanna, it's all on you, buddy. All right.
Alrighty.
And just for your information, Temple of Elemental Evil is not a viable quest. The survey was done before that came out. Also, any races questions will be iconic races will be separate from normal races. Okay. Here we go. Question 1. Name a quest or raid with a puzzle.
Shroud.
Cosmetically, what race is the most fun to customize?
I'm going to go with Drow.
What level is the hardest to get enough XP to advance through?
Level 27.
Who is the best DDO raid boss?
I'm going to go with Abbott.
What is the best class for tanking?
Paladin.
Try again.
Fighter.
All right. You said, for name a quest or raid with a puzzle, you said Shroud. That was the number one answer with 33 points.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
Cosmetically, what race is the most fun to customize? You said Drow. That was the number one answer with 17 points.
All right.
What level is the hardest to get enough XP to advance through? You said 27. That was worth 4 points. The best raid boss, you said Abbott, which was worth 15 points. And for best class for tanking, you said Fighter, which was the best answer you could give at that point, and that was worth 13 points.
All right, not too bad.
Good job, Vanna. Representing.
Couple number ones and at least a number 2 in there.
Welcome back, Moosey.
Thanks.
All right, is the score. High Lords have 464 points. Tribe Called Zerg has 403 points. I'm going to ask you the same 5 questions that I asked Bonnie. You cannot use the same answer. If you do, I'll ask you to try again.
Okay.
Temple of Elemental Evil is not a viable answer. This survey came out before Temple of Elemental Evil came out. And for any race-related questions, iconic races are separate from normal races. Okay?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
This is for all the marbles, no pressure. Name a quest or a raid with a puzzle.
Shroud.
Cosmetically, what race is the most fun to customize?
I'm going to say Drow because it's my favorite.
What level is the hardest to get enough XP to advance through?
19.
Try again.
27.
Who is the best DDO raid boss?
Ooh, Abbott.
What is the best class for tanking?
Paladin.
Try again.
Fighter.
Well done. It's kind of funny that everyone said Paladin for best class for tanking.
Oh, of course.
There were other options.
I don't know, what, favorite soul? Or...
There are no other options for the best. The question is, it was what was the best.
Yeah.
True. Fighter had 13, Barbarian had 10. Bard, Cleric, Druid, and Favorite Soul and Multiclass all came in at 1. What's kind of funny here is your answers were exactly the same as Vanna's.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Do I have
all
a
of
twin?
them.
What was that?
I have a twin?
Well, you did try to say
you did
try to say 19 for the level, but Bonnie had already said 19, which was a good guess.
Well, I figured it would be like, you know, the last of the big levels.
It's a good way of thinking about it.
The last to get to the big one.
All right, so you said Shroud, which was for a quest raid with a puzzle. That was worth 33 points. For a race to customize, you said Drow, which was worth 17 points. Both of those were the number one answers. For 27, you said 27 for the level, which was worth 4 points. Best raid boss, you said Abbott, which was worth 15 points. And Fighter was worth 13 points. Well done. So the final score is A Tribe Called Zerg coming in at 485, and the High Lords at a respectable 464. Well done, folks. Appreciate you all playing and participating, and nicely done. Congratulations to Tribe Called Zerg.
Nice job, Tribe, on the from behind victory.
God City, thank you so much for joining us, getting in the van.
No problem. It was a lot of fun. Thanks, guys.